Hello, everyone. It really is my honor to speak to this esteemed gathering in Munich. I'm Taiwan's first digital minister and now cyber ambassador, and I want to share here a candid perspective on our frontline role in Taiwan, safeguarding open democratic values against the rising tide of cyber threats. My hope is that our lessons learned and the innovative responses that we share here may inspire new partnerships and spark fresh perspectives, fresh thinking for all of us. Now, Taiwan has found itself quite unexpectedly in the spotlight in the recent years. Whenever a high-profile visit happens, we face a surge of cyber intrusions. So think of, for example, Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan in August 2022, or the subsequent meeting between our former President Tsai Ing-wen and Speaker Kevin McCarthy. And I remember those days vividly. Phone calls at all hours, urgent alerts, a constant flux of cyber attacks targeting everything from our government websites to digital billboards. And while those large-scale attacks capture headlines, it is important to note how often we are in that state. In the past 2 years alone, over 140 days in this kind of heightened alert. And this persistent threat has shaped our Ministry of Digital Affairs, the MODA, into a rapid response team, always prepared to detect, to neutralize, and adapt to the next round of sophisticated intrusions. So one quick example. So on the top of the millions of cyber attack attempts to our government systems every day, when Speaker Pelosi visits Taiwan in August 2022, it raised the DDoS attack to 23 times our previous daily peak. We learned that the speed of detection and response can contain damage, and we very quickly reconfigured our systems so that it serves different content to foreign visitors and to domestic visitors. And we also worked on pre-bunking, that is the idea of a rapid collaborative fact-checking so that people understand what really is going on. And then fast forward to April 2023, when our former president met with Speaker McCarthy. Forewarned by our international allies, Taiwan braced for and did face very similar intense amount of attacks. But that time, we observed far less public disruption. And why? And that's because we have implemented a different posture. Based on the zero trust network architecture, we refined our response workflows and hardened our systems. And so this repeated drills and sophisticated threat intelligence and this new posture have made our systems much more agile. Now, cybersecurity doesn't just happen in the cloud. While it's true that we work with all the hyperscalers, pretty much everyone listed here, to improve our digital resilience, it also hinges on our physical infrastructure. Over the past couple of years, we've faced unsettling cases of subsea cable disruptions. The cables servicing the Matsu Islands, connecting them with the Taiwan proper, have faced repeated accidents that require 3 improbable steps. So the ships, the cargo ships and the fishing vessels flying the PRC flag, they had to pinpoint the exact cable location, publicly available, of course, by international regulation, and accidentally dropping an anchor on the cable, accidentally moving the vessel long enough to physically damage the cable, and to have such incidents happen multiple times in short succession really raised red flags. And Taiwan isn't alone in this. I understand that Finland, Estonia, and so on have solved very similar cable troubles, highlighting how critical communication lines can be physically compromised. And so while, of course, we work to speed up the repair of such cables, we have also invested in microwave relay towers and fallback satellite communication systems that are now battle-tested to keep rural communities online during those repairs. And in Taiwan, we also faced natural disasters. When a magnitude 7.2 earthquake struck Hualien last year, the power grids went down and the roads become impassable. And then we very quickly deployed a prototype emergency response system with 5G base stations plus terminals connecting to both low Earth orbit and mid-orbit satellite. So we use helicopters to drop such communication systems and ensure first responders can coordinate via drones, dispatch aid, and reconnect families with loved ones. So it underscores a crucial insight. In crisis, this robust, redundant, and resilient systems can really save the day. Now, last year, there's also an additional attack vector that is generative AI. The deepfakes, sometimes real-time ones, emerged as a new threat vector. And it is true that pre-bunking did mitigate some of the damage. I deepfaked myself 2 years ago as a public service announcement, showing people how it's done. And so that's kind of inoculation. But we also need strong regulations to clearly spell out responsibilities to big tech platforms such as Facebook and Google. And so last March, we sent out 200,000 SMS messages to random numbers in Taiwan, asking people just one question: how do you feel about information integrity online? And what are your suggestions? And so from those hundreds of thousands of responses, we convened 450 people through random sortition so that we understand they're a microcosm of the Taiwanese people in terms of age brackets, regions, backgrounds, and so on. And then we used AI-assisted deliberation in the virtual rooms of 45 rooms of 10 people each to surface their uncommon ground, their shared values that were not obvious when you do one-to-one polling. And after an entire day of such discussions, the Citizen Assembly produced very workable measures. For example, one room would say, if you post an advertisement on, say, Facebook, they need to secure digital signature from the celebrity depicted in that advertisement to know this actually from them, not a deepfake. And another room would say, if they don't and somebody gets scammed out of $1 million or $2 million, the platform will have to be liable for that $1 or $2 million. And another room would say, if they do not comply, then I'm sorry, but we'll have to slow down connection to its content server so its competitor receive faster internet speed, so on and so forth. And so because after deliberation, more than 85%, regardless of their party affiliation and so on, of our citizens agree that this is well within the Overton window. This is not censorship, this is just KYC. So within a couple months, our parliament implemented these insights into legislative framework, and this year Taiwan became the only country in which that for all advertisement, this is already in effect, so you don't see those fraudulent ads anymore on social media. But alignment goes beyond just such rules. It is also about transforming the social media landscape itself, and that is why we're piloting this idea called pro-social media. It's digital spaces designed to bridge people to uncover such uncommon grounds instead of just strip mining our social fabric for clicks and engagement. So think about community notes, which upvotes the various different ideas for fact-checking, but moving those notes from this post-viral post clarification into the main feed itself. And so we're actively encouraging more and more social media companies, including Meta, to work on such bridging discussions. We're already working with Blue Sky and We Are 8, and we're also helping to put together a $20 billion people's bid in the US to try to reform TikTok this way. And so the idea is to reinforce that trust and transparency must flow both ways. By embedding democratic oversight into the platform design, we can make sure that AI and social media amplify what unites us instead of driving us apart. Now, no democracy is an island, not even Taiwan, and we deeply value ongoing international partnerships in forums such as this one, as well as multilateral exercises. Taiwan hosts recurring CODE code, or cyber offensive and defensive exercises, focusing on critical sectors such as water supply, healthcare, and more. So I invite everyone here to collaborate with Taiwan, to test your defense system with us, to co-develop risk assessment models, exchange intelligence. And our experience show that if we can unite across the governments, the private industries, and through citizen assemblies, the civil society, and the international community, we stand a far better chance to protect our societies. So in closing, thank you for allowing me to share Taiwan's story. Let's work hand in hand to shape a safer, more secure digital era. Thank you very much. Thank you.